for prom. I feel like it's completely like missing out on my life.
But I was chasing happiness too for myself.
I felt every bit of her pain. Every bit of it. It broke my heart to watch this, but I want to speak on this. I don't know the name of the show, but I'll tag the creator that posted this and y'all can go back and check the video out. But I want to tell y'all a story real quick because I need y'all to understand that this is a prime example of trying to make somebody be something that they are incapable of being and that they do not want to be. You can't force nobody to be involved in your life or be a part of your life. You just cannot. Whether they are your parent, your friend, your lover, whoever. You can't force nobody to be something that they don't want to be. Now, most of y'all already know that my granny raised me until I was like 8 or 9, and then I moved in with my mom. I stayed with my mom until I graduated high school at 16, and then I left. I've been on my own ever since. My therapist asked me a couple of weeks ago if I have any recollection of my biological father and my mom being in the same space together when I was younger. The answer was no, unfortunately. I have no memory, no recollection of them ever being together. They were together for a while until my mom met my stepdad 37 years ago, right after I was born, and she was with him until the day that she passed away. So my stepdad is the only father figure I've ever seen. But when it comes to my biological father, he has always lived in close proximity to me and my mom. He pays $16 a month in child support. He worked at the same employer for over 20 years. My mom knew exactly where to contact him, and he knew how to get a hold of us because my family was well known in the city. So if he wanted to reach out to me, he would have. Mind you, I'm his only child. So when I was 21 years old, I was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer, and my life pretty much changed. So imagine being 21, you about to start your life, and you get a phone call from the doctor saying you're about to take treatments and you're about to have surgeries and all the things. I didn't really know what to do, but luckily I did have my mom. I did have my village that was really there to be supportive. Well, my mom thought it was appropriate, and she thought it would be okay to reach out to my dad to let him know that his daughter was sick. She said, your daughter is going to need you. You know, she's going to need all of us. So I would appreciate if you can kind of step up for once. Okay. So he said, yeah, no problem. But he stepped up how he knew how to step up. He didn't come to any treatments. He didn't come to any surgeries. He wasn't really nurturing, but he provided financially. You know, we were able to spend a little bit of time together, have conversations. But let me tell y'all something. That lasted about 3 months. Before I had saw my dad at that year when I was 21, so 12 years ago, before I had seen him then, I hadn't seen my dad since I was about 8 years old, and it was randomly at a Walgreens. He was there, and he bought me a bag of candy and a Monopoly game, and I hadn't seen him anymore until I was 21 years old. So he pops in 3 months, does his due diligence as a father. Mind you, I'm still sick when he disappears. He stopped answering the phone. He stopped coming around. There was never an argument. There was never a disagreement. He just didn't want to. Okay. And because he had the privilege of not having to for all those years, it was nothing for him to disappear just after a couple of months, because he knew the same people that had helped me all those 21 years when he wasn't involved will be the same people that will be in my corner. So he knew I would be okay with or without him, unfortunately. So time passed. About 4 years passed. I was about to get married. I'm riding around in my grandmother's neighborhood. I see my dad at the gas station. I pull up at the gas station, and you would think that I was somebody begging for change. I said, hey, what's going on, man? I ain't seen you. I ain't heard from you. He was like, oh, hey, what's up? What's up? I said, well, I'm getting married in a few months, and I would love for you to be there. Not to walk me down the aisle, but just to be there. You know, see your only daughter, your only child, you know, jump the broom. Oh, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. We exchanged numbers. I said, I'm going to call you tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to call you. I did exactly that. I called him. We talked for about 90 seconds. After that 90 seconds, the man said, hey, I got to catch this call. I'm going to call you right back. I'm sure you can guess. He never called back. That was in 2011. Okay. I saw my dad one more time in maybe 2013 at a random hamburger place with me, my husband at the time, and my grandmother. We pulled up. My granny said, there go your daddy right there. He hops out the car. I'm the driver. He hops out the car. Hey, what's going on? Had missed my wedding. Had never called me back since that day. But you would think that this man had just saw me yesterday. You would think that I was just his homegirl from high school. He gets out the car. Hey, what's going on? And I'm sitting there. I never opened the door to get out. I never got out. Because at that point, I'm just disgusted. And in my mind, excuse my language, fuck you. Okay? Because you're making the conscious decision to not be involved. You've made these conscious decisions for over 30 years to not be involved in your only child's life. So at this point, I have no respect for you. There's nothing I'm going to be able to say to you. There's nothing I'm going to be able to tell you to make you feel any different about fatherhood. Okay? So at that moment, I knew that I was going to have to move on. Okay, there will be no more conversations. There will be nothing else that I would have to say, or nothing else I could say to make that man want to be involved. Okay, that was 9 years ago. My mother passed away last February. My dad never even called me, never even made sure I was okay. Not only that, all of his family follows me on social media, and not one piece of family showed up to bury my mother. Okay, so this is my point. Stop forcing somebody to play a part in your life that does not want to. So stop wrecking your brain, okay? Especially if you're in a situation with an absent parent. It's not your fault, all right? It's not your fault. They're the parent, you're the child. If your parent is making that conscious decision to not be involved in your life, it is their loss. It is never your loss. It is never your fault when they don't want to be involved. But what you have to do is stop trying with them. Stop trying to force people to be involved and be a part of your life, and just accept that rejection as protection, because sometimes God is trying to protect you. As bad as I wanted my father to be in my life, I don't even know if it would have worked out the way I wanted it to. And I'm very proud of who I've become, and it's going to be his loss, and that's something he going to have to deal with. So just accept it for what it is, and you just got to learn to let people be exactly who they going to be, whether they in your life or not.